What's up, Panda dudes? Peter from Panda here. Hey, got a watch. Taking a first peek at it, and I bet you have never seen a watch like this, unless you watched my video from like a week ago. Because this is basically the same watch. It's called the Cool Men's Racer Military Pilot Aviator Army Silicone Sports Watch. This is by Broadfashion. I showed you one, but it was like a red version. This one is almost exactly the same. Things are falling here. Except, really, the only difference here is that the numbers, the hour numbers, are blue. So, just a little bit different take. And the stitching, which is real stitching on the silicone watch band, is also blue. Now, I mentioned that on the other watch, the stitching was really kind of an orange, and the letters or the numbers were more of a red. And so they were close, and I like that they kind of draw in a little bit of color tie-in between the two pieces, but the colors didn't really match, exactly. And it's kind of the same on here. The stitching on the watch band is just a little bit more purple than blue. Might be a little hard to tell there. Because it's dark, it kind of blends into the black. If you're wearing this, even on with good lighting, a lot of people won't even necessarily notice the color stitching on the band because it's pretty dark. But it's a little bit more purple than blue, and the numbers on the dial here are definitely definitely a blue and kind of a cerulean blue. Cerulean, yes. The case here looks like it's cast because I mentioned that there are some marks where it's been kind of ground or polished or sanded. A lot of kind of really fine waviness on the case and painted black. So this is not an ion plating by any means. And in fact, the other watch that I showed you had a little crack in the paint, and I was able to scrape off more paint. Pushed in the crown. Second hand is running. Quartz movement. I can't tell you what kind it is, but I would guess an Asian movement of some sort, and it's going to be just a pretty simple movement in that, again, these three subdials, the complications, are not real. They are just pressed into the dial. They look real-ish at a glance. The hands on those fake subdials are silver. And actually, I can tell right there, it might be a little hard to see, but on this subdial, there's a little piece of dust or something on the dial itself. So, from a quality control standpoint, you can see little specks of dust inside. It's just how it is. Actually, it says Japanese movement right there. So, let's assume it is. The pushers then, which would normally control one of the subdials or subdials for like a chronograph function, are fake. They don't push in. They're just cast into the case itself, so there's nothing there to even simulate kind of travel. And in fact, they really stick out there too from the case. White color-filled paint here. The hour markers are silver with a little bit of white paint. There's no loom or anything on it, and the other thing I would say is you can hear the ticking. I don't know if you can hear it there, but, a cheaper watch like this, which is a watch under $5, I want to say, can tend to do that. There's a little stop here to keep the watch band from flipping all the way up. This is fairly unique. Haven't seen that on a lot of watches. Don't really know that it's that important. And then, again, the silicone band, which is actually pretty nice. I wouldn't actually mind having this on different watches. The perforations don't go all the way through, but it's flexible. It seems relatively tough. The retaining loops here gonna fall off and go on pretty easily, so keep that in mind. You want to make sure you know where those suckers are. But if you're looking for a watch you can beat around, something dark, sporty, and you're not going to worry about the paint flaking off, you're not going to worry about hitting this crown. I've read from a lot of people that this crown moves pretty easily. And when you pull it out, actually, look, I pulled it out there almost to the one stop and it's still running. If I forced it to the furthest out position, it'll stop, hacking seconds. And If I push it back in, it'll start running. People have complained that they've knocked the crown out. I'm not sure how they do that, but there's nothing protecting it, obviously, and it's kind of a little bit loose. So what I would say is if you don't need a watch to stand up to a lot of abuse and you don't need a watch to tell time, then this is the perfect watch for you. So the Cool Men's Racer Military Pilot Aviator Army Silicone Sports Watch by Broadfashion for under $5. Pick it up now. Peter from Panda. Out.